All right, all right, all right. It looks like we're live. My name is Manny Wolf, and well, I'm the creator of lots of things. I was going to say I did this, I did that, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But I've done a lot of things, and so I don't feel like I'll list them all off for you here. But one of the things that I've done that I'm very excited about is a new Facebook group meant entirely to support the people that I call ACEs, which is authors, coaches, experts, and specialists. And it's going to support you in getting on more stages to share your message. So everything I say from here on out assumes that you actually want to do public speaking. If you don't, hit the road, kick rocks, catch me on the next one. This one's not for you. If you do, but maybe you don't like the pressure of feeling like you have to learn how to sell things from the stage or sort of shift out of your mission and your purpose. Let me ask you this. What would it be like for you if you knew how to get on that stage and just share your personal, powerful transformation story and know to a certainty that you were moving people, that you were connecting with people, and that you were affecting people the way that you intended to? I'm going to tell you a couple of things that you need for that. First, let me tell you what the biggest misunderstanding I see. The biggest misunderstanding I see is everybody teaches some variation, got something in my eye there, of the hero's journey. And while the hero's journey is important, it's not enough by itself. See, here's what happens. The hero's journey, we're most familiar with it in movies and then secondarily in fiction. And some of you will know about Joseph Campbell's work with the hero's journey and mythology and that kind of thing. The reason the hero's journey is powerful is because it connects meaningfully to, in a symbolic way, to the experience of life. But when we see the hero's journey, we suspend disbelief. In other words, we know we're in the audience. We know that we're watching a story unfold, and that costs us as speakers connection. It costs us a level of connection that can be really transformative. And so the hero's journey in and of itself doesn't have the impact of what I'm about to talk with you about. So here's what you need to do first. You need to set up the hero's journey. You've got to set it up first. And the way that I like to teach that is you start with the rock bottom, the pinnacle moment, the change in your reality. You start with the time, the thing, the event that was so intense that you said to yourself, no matter what, I'm not living like this anymore. Now, usually people start there and then go into the hero's journey. Or they don't even start there. They just go into the hero's journey. Both of these are mistakes because you are sacrificing the connection you can have with your audience when you do these. So what you need to do is start with that pinnacle moment, that time that you narrowly escaped death, that time that you lost everything, the time that, whatever it is, and then wait for it. You go back into your back history, because we need to know, we need context, we need to be shown and reminded that you started out innocent as a baby, I'm talking about, like all of us did, that you started out perfect and that you started out unburdened by these things that you then had to deal with in your life. And the purpose for this is to show the external influencing factors that were present in your life that led you to that moment. Okay, you get that? For instance, I started out innocent and perfect, just like you did. And I was born into a cult, and I had a lot of conditioning that was very, very antisocial, and that would wind up limiting my ability to connect with people or earn money or make my own way in the world for literally decades. So it just filled me with beliefs and stories that were destructive to my desire to make something of myself. So I had to overcome all of those things. But before I overcame all of those things, I had to hit that critical moment, that moment where things got so bad that I was willing to do whatever it took to change. So I share that moment first, and then I go back in history to remind you, hey, I didn't start like this. I wasn't born a criminal. I wasn't born a drug addict. I wasn't born an outlaw. I was born a regular, innocent kid, baby, just like all of us were. So you need to set the stage with those things. Then you come back to the pinnacle story again. See what I did there? So it's the life-changing moment, it's the backstory, and then it's the life-changing moment again. Then you go into the pinnacle story. The hero's journey. Follow this formula, and you can absolutely kill your next talk. You can kill it. And let me give you a little kind of a pro tip. If you are speaking in an effort to attract clients, if you're speaking to grow your coaching business, your consulting practice, position your book, things like that, then you're going to want to pay attention to this. It's important to understand that we have to overcome objections, right? It's just human nature to have objections when we feel that there's a possibility that somebody may offer us something. And there's a very beautiful way to overcome these objections without ever being heavy-handed or salesy about it. The three primary objections are almost always money, trust, and time. Money, trust, and time. Money, trust, and time. Money, trust, and time. I don't have the money. I don't trust you to get me the result. I don't believe I have the time. And so if while you're talking about your backstory, your back history, if you show in first person that you struggled with these things, you struggled with never having enough money, you struggled with not trusting people, you struggled with not feeling like you had enough time to do what you wanted. And then as you go into your hero's journey and you show us the transformation that occurred inside of you, if you show us that you overcame these same objections in your own life, you know what you're doing? You are seeding the audience. You are doing inception, right? You're putting the thought in their mind that, hey, the struggle was here, the solution was here. So you're overcoming the objections without ever directly having to address them, because you're saying all of it, you're showing how it all happened to you. This is intensely powerful. In fact, I want to share with you a quick story about one of my students who, less than a week ago, she spoke in front of 2,000 people for free. She didn't charge for it. She wasn't paid for it. And she got 50 very, very qualified leads. She would have gotten more, except that the tech had issues. And so she had to manually collect the leads from a throng of people talking to her after her presentation. So she got 50 leads, of which she will close, convert, turn into customers, half of them. That's what she expects, is to get 25 new clients from those 50 leads. Now, what I want you to understand is that for her, the average lifetime value of a client, she's in the UK, is 18,000 pounds over the life of an average client. 18,000 pounds times 25 new students. Think about that. This was from a free talk where all she did was tell the story, her story, the way that I just showed you here. It's all she did. She got up and she shared from the heart. She never pitched. She never offered. She never had to shift gears aggressively into saleswoman mode, right? She just shared her story. Now, I hear a lot of speaker trainers, and maybe you do too, who talk about how your story should only take a few minutes out of your talk. And your talk should be a structured kind of format that moves people through a decision process to buy from you. Well, I'm not taking anything away from those. I'm saying there's another path, because many of us just don't want to have to feel like we're shifting into salesman mode. Many of us just don't relate to that. So I'm giving you another path where you can bring the audience to tears. You can get, oh, I forgot to tell you, she got 2 standing ovations during her talk. 2. One right in the middle of the talk. and one at the end, of course. So you bring the audience to tears. You get a standing ovation. You have people flooding you afterwards to get what you have to give. And never once did she have to be at all saleswoman-ish, salesperson-ish. This is the power of setting your story up the way I just outlined for you. Your rock bottom turning point moment, the backstory, the back history that shows how you went from innocent to where you wound up. Back to that back history, turning point, pinnacle moment, and then through your hero's journey where you show struggles and lessons as they lead you to who you are now and what you do now and where you are now. And when you do this right, you wrap the whole talk up with a simple little summary and a call to action. And the call to action doesn't even have to be a sales pitch. So I want you to understand there's another way. If you're a coach, if you're what I call an ACE, if you're a member of the ACES community, authors, coaches, experts, and speakers, but you don't want to have to learn pitching from the stage, or if you want to just fatten up your repertoire, right? Have more in your bag of tricks, then pay attention to the formula that I just shared with you. It's powerful, powerful stuff. And as I mentioned, my student Jackie, probably, 18,000 multiplied by 25, whatever that is, it's about 450,000 pounds that will have come from one talk. There's another way to do it. There's a way that you never have to move out of your sort of sweet spot. There's a way where you never have to leave being the teacher, being the coach, being the servant of others. And you can still attract masses of new business to you from each speaking opportunity. So something to think about. I hope that you enjoy this. I hope that you take this with you. And let's say this. If you want more on how to craft your talk like this, reach out to me. Send me a message in Messenger on Facebook. Reach out to me and specify that that's what you're interested in. Let me know that you'd like more on how to tell your story. Just say that. Say, I'd like more on how to tell my story, and I'll know. Hopefully I'll know. Hopefully I'll remember why you're reaching out to me. But with that, I bid you good day. I hope this is valuable to you. I've watched it change the lives of many of my students. This simple story formula framework I've just showed you, I've seen it change the lives of many of my students, and I know it can do the same for you. So I'll see you tomorrow.